following is presented to you once. You can either accept this opportunity or it will never come to you again. You step into a machine, and in this machine, you live inside a world where all your dreams come true. You're the happiest being you could ever be. In all 14 billion possibilities, you are the happiest one of them. Would you step into this machine? Now, a few other details is that nothing is real. You leave your friends and family behind, but you inside the machine believe that it's real. Everything is real. Your belief is not. You forget the fact that you ever stepped inside the machine. So you will live your life to the end of its days as, extremely happy. Everything is, fulfilled. Do you step into that machine? This is a question called the experience machine that was posed to me inside an ethics class that I had to take. And it really struck with me because I've always wondered whether happiness was worth living a lie. And I didn't know that a concept such as this experience machine existed. Now, after that was explained, the tutor posed the question, how many of you would step inside the machine? And only a couple people raised their hands. I didn't raise my hand, but not because I made a decision. I couldn't make a decision. The reason I found this question so interesting is because I've always been fascinated with the concept of happiness, of the happiest person. Somewhere in the world, past or present, someone is living the happiest life. Out of if you can quantify happiness, they are living. They are the most happy. And I wondered what circumstances would this person be living under. Some people say that happiness comes with stupidity, because, for example, a stupid person maybe would enjoy like simpler things, whereas someone, for example, a dog, right? A dog has probably a lower intelligence level than majority of humans, and I assume they're pretty happy because they don't know that their country's gonna blow up or could blow up in like the next couple of days. Like, they don't know that, right? There's no stress to these worldly things that we've created, as well as the fact that they don't need to pay for rent or get a job or whatever. So if one could just live in the woods, in a cabin, just live from nature, whilst it would be hard, don't get me wrong, surviving in the wild is quite, tiresome, but I don't know, I feel like there's an argument to be made that they could be, one of the happiest people ever. I've always joked that if everything goes tits up, I would just rescind back into the mountains, and because I feel like there would be a happy life you could live there. So back to the experience machine. I don't know if I would step in or not, because whilst you're in the machine, you won't know that you're actually in the machine. You as an individual will feel that everything's real, and you'll live the rest of your life not knowing any wiser. And I don't know, like, one of my goals is just to, live a good life, right? And that would be supplied in the machine, yet there's a doubt. And I don't know whether the importance of it being real, it being lasting, is important. I'm not sure, because another things that's very important to me is not really a legacy, but kind of but to be remembered, and that would be fulfilled in my machine, right? I would think that I would have left behind a legacy, something to be remembered by, but in actuality, it's not real. It's fabricated, and I think that's what's so hard, because of things that matter to me, living the best life I can. But at the cost of that, I don't have anything to be remembered for, because it's all gonna dissipate. And in a sense, I'm not saying we're living in a simulation now, but you could compare this experience machine to right now. The biggest worry is that you're not really living a real life. You have nothing to leave behind. But if you think about it in 2 million years. I heard some statistic that the Earth has now become half of its total lifespan in terms of like we're halfway to now and the sun imploding and swallowing the solar system, the Earth's end. So we're at the halfway point. But yeah, we will all die at one point, and I don't know if there's anything beyond the afterlife, so I don't have any reason to, so no evidence. So I'm gonna believe that this is it. And like I said before, my very first video, like the thought of not being remembered, the thought of not existing, you are not an afterthought. You are not a thought at all, and that's kind of what this experience machine is. You live your life, you're the happiest you ever are, and that's it. Everything's deleted, erased, off to the next person. Like whatever you've done in that life, that fake life, that you believe to be very real, is gone. And that's, I don't know, that's kind of the same here, no? Eventually, we will all die. No one will remember anyone. Like 2 million years into the future, like eventually we will all die, and no one will remember anyone. So, is the experience machine worth it? I'm not sure. Upon thinking this, I thought of another question similar. So, I always think about like the innocence you had as a child. Like I had a very good childhood. Like I was very happy. I was thinking stories. I was playing with my toys, drawing on my Etch-a-Sketch, watching TV, kids' TV. Like, what was not to enjoy? Sure, you get the occasional, disciplining by your parents and stuff. For the most part, I lived a very sheltered and loving life. And if I was given the opportunity, let's say we go back to the Matrix, I was given the opportunity to go back to this untouched innocence, this life of no responsibilities, and just stay there, which is kind of like this whole being happy thing, right? Would I take it? And my inkling would be no. Even though I've thought, what if you just raised a human and, kept them in that childlike state? But I guess the issue is that whilst you'd be happy, you don't have any agency. And how important is agency if you're happy? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if agency is the cost of happiness. That's an answer I haven't come to. And I know the answer may be obvious to you, but me personally, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I can't find a justification as of now to justify having agency over just like pure, unfiltered, unbridled, if that's a word, happiness. Now, the last question I'll talk about is something that the tutor also mentioned before this experience machine, and it's something more grounded. So let's say you had a loving relationship with your partner, and you believe that this was your soulmate. For the rest of your life, you're gonna spend with them. You found your person. You love them more than the world could ever encapsulate into a feeling, and you believe they do. However, in reality, what you don't know is that they're cheating on you. They don't reciprocate, but they're really good at hiding it. Like if you keep going on about your life, like you will never find out. You'll forever be happy in that relationship sense. So you're presented with this truth. Do you either take the red pill, which is the truth, or go back? So yeah, you take the red pill, the truth, or take the blue pill and live this lie. You'll forget about this question. You'll live on your very days. And I'm not sure, because like happiness, another thing that is tied to happiness, is important to me, is finding my partner, my lifelong partner, right? I think I'm a romantic at heart, and one of my big worries is that I'll never get to that stage, whether because I'm too picky or this and that, but I'm sure it's a common worry, not just unique to me. And that's another question which I don't know, because right now, if you had told me that my partner was cheating on me, like I definitely want the truth. It's sickening to the core. But the unique thing with that question is that you get to forget, you get to live this lie, and I don't know, like this is the most perfect partner in your eyes. I don't know. Now, I apologize if it's frustrating that I don't know the answer to many of these questions. Not saying there is one. I don't know my answer. I just keep posing them, but I don't know. It's what's been on my mind the past week that I've thought about these. And if you have a answer to one of these questions, please let me know and your reasoning. It may be just obvious and what I've said, that like you value truth over whatever, or you value it being actually real and tangible. I'm not sure. But yeah, if you have any interesting thought, please let me know. Because yeah, I'd like to not get to the bottom of this, but understand myself better. So yeah, that was the experience machine, and I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, carpe diem, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye. Sorry, and one little line of dialogue I'll add, because I couldn't. This is what I wanted to say, but I couldn't because whilst I'm playing, my mind's elsewhere. But I think what I struggle with the most about answering the question of the experience machine is that, to me, I'm so fascinated. Not fascinated. I'm so like, what's the word? It's like obsessed. I'm kind of obsessed with like living out my dreams. I'm sure a lot of people have dreams, and I'm sure a lot of people strive for them. But for me, because my dreams are so grand, like the dream of owning a house to some people may be grand, but to others it may just be like a thing that's gonna happen, right? Like it will eventually happen. Whereas grand dreams are like things so beyond, things so rare, like a less than a % chance of happening. And a refresher, my dreams is to be famous, which is, such a little chance of happening. But to be known, that's my dream. And it used to be becoming an actor. Now it's faded. It's like a broken record. I keep talking about this. I'll aim to stop talking about this, but that's my dream, right? And I step into this experience machine. All of that gets realized. At least in my mind, it gets realized. Like, I'll believe every single thing of it. And I feel like that's kind of important to me, that I've just lived a good life, right? Because I'll die in the machine, just like how I die right now in real life, and I'll forget about everything. Like, whether it was truly real or not won't really matter, because I'm already dead. Obviously, if you gave me two options, do you want a real life or a fake one? You're going to pick the real one, but the chances of the real one actually realizing is so low. Incredibly low. So I think that's what trumps me the most. Like, a lot of people say they'd step into the machine, but I wouldn't. I don't know. Yeah, but he's already living his experience machine. But yeah, like, that's what I was trying to say earlier. That, yeah, something that I've wanted so much can just be realized, and I would believe it. I'd lick it up, but something deep within me tells me otherwise, that I shouldn't step in. And I think what I have been considering is that stepping into the machine means you leave your actual life behind. Obviously, I don't want to leave my friends and family behind. I mean, friends, I could leave behind. I love my friends, don't get me wrong, but like, it's family at the end of the day that are like your core, right? Like my mom, my dad, they would be like gutted. You see your son just like disappear, like you may as well they be dead, and it's like that'd be gut wrenching. So I wouldn't do it on their behalf, because I'm a little bit of a people pleaser. Though I wouldn't say I'm a people pleaser, but yeah. I wouldn't do it upon their behalf. However, if the question was changed to where you could, where that wouldn't be a concern, right? Then I would definitely be going through all the decisions right now to whether I'd actually step into a fake world. Forgetting about whether, what the implications are to the people in your life right now. Thinking about that, it's like whether you would choose to live in a lie, a good lie, but a lie, or the truth. I'm not sure. Because my life right now could just go in a slightly uphill trajectory, and I just live like, just a basic life, right? And I don't know, I don't want to live a basic life. Not that I want to live a life of, luxury, and I don't really care for luxuries. I just care about the people around me living comfortably. Um, I know money is like, people say money isn't the solution to a lot of problems, and I understand. Some problems you can't just hack out with money. And probably with maturity, I'll then realize and agree with that statement. But to me, right now, I feel like money can solve a lot of problems. Um, I guess this is going to be a 30-minute video. I apologize if it's boring just looking at this screen. But yeah, I have two things to say. So first, yes, there's an argument to be had. You had, a lot of money, you achieve all your dreams, and then you kind of feel soulless, like you don't have anything to strive towards. I agree. You're going to be unhappy in that sense. Like a lot of really rich people have said this effect. But I'm not talking about being ultra rich. I don't need to be a billionaire, like a multi in the hundreds millionaire. Like I don't need to be that, right? I'm talking about just enough money to where like, each family member can I didn't think it would get this deep, but to the three people watching, I applaud you for sticking through. But yeah, like, so family is very important to me, and I don't know why quite yet. It may be because I was deprived of it a little. Not my internal family. I'm talking about like the broader external family. So I guess I'll let out this fact about me. So half my family is across the world, right, on my mom's side, and every 2 to 3 years I'd go to Korea and I'd meet them for a month, and it'd be great. Whilst it's a holiday, I'm still getting a taste of what family is like there. And over here, where I'm living right now, on my dad's side, there isn't that much family. For a long period of time, we weren't really close with his side of the family, apart from my pop. Now, I see my auntie, but yeah. So yeah, as a kid, there wasn't much family locally. It would just be, with us, with my inner family, the closest family, right? And I enjoyed what I had, but because I'm not sure. But anyway, whatever circumstances have led to this point, like I value family a lot, and issues come up. I'm not sure how many families just don't have issues, and maybe I'll shelter from them in overseas. I'm on holiday and I'm not really gonna see the bad sides. But anyway, like every family has issues, and I feel like things are in the trajectory if they go right now. Like I'm I'm quite lucky that my parents haven't divorced yet, and one of my, not fears, but one of my great worries is that they do. And now it's a different discussion to be had whether they're better off being divorced or not. I'm not sure, but I feel like money would solve that. I don't know. I think that's maybe naive to say, but like, all these worries and all these pressures is just they'll just be gone, right? Yeah, and I can already think of multiple counter arguments, because let's say you're now made of money, then it's like, do people like you for you? Are your family gonna be an actual family, or are they just sticking together because they know you're the cash cow and you're gonna buy them all the Louis Vuittons and flipping trips on cruises and whatnot, little family holiday? I don't know, but I'm just saying that in my opinion, I think money would be a solution to a lot of families' issues right now. I'm talking about generally across the world, like just families in general, but also mine. But yeah, without getting into the nitty gritty of things, money does create certain strains that I would love to just be resolved to where you don't have to really consider them. You can just move on. So yeah, if I had a bunch of money, I'd make sure everyone around me would be looked after. I could regularly travel between here and Korea, and actually be able to yeah, because that's something, family is important to me. And I feel like maybe feeling like I was lacking some of the bits that other people were experiencing maybe made me yearn for it even more. Maybe I just innately cared a lot about that. I'm not sure, but that's to say, I'm very thankful for the family I've had. and will continue to have. But yeah, one of my biggest concerns is that, none of us talk in the future. I've read and heard stories of, people just not talking, especially, when you're not really obligated to live with each other anymore. It's like, yeah, I would just, like to, and I don't need money to do this, but just like host dinners and stuff and have regular meetups, but I just don't think that will come to be. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. I have thought a lot about whether I will come to regret not actively trying to mend things together. I'm currently letting things just slowly float away like an iceberg. But yeah. But I am thankful for the situation right now. I'm sure there are people worse off, but I don't think that fact alone makes my feelings not valid. People are at different points in life, and I feel like no matter where you are, there's always going to be things that you're wanting, whether you're in a great position or not. That's just the way we are encoded. That's why I feel like most people's concerns are valid. So yeah, I just wanted to add that in. I'm not sure if that made much sense, but that's my feelings. And at the end of the day, this is a journal, but at the end of the day, it's meant to be an entertaining journal. So let me know if that was in any way enjoyable. The animal pens, ignore that. I've been in a bit of a slump recently. I've recorded many videos, like 2 or 3 videos, but I haven't had the energy to edit them, mainly because the first one I edited was a bit here and there, and I have to actually have a more active role in editing, and then uni started, and I have so much work to do, which has made me record another video. I feel like the main motivator is not actually my passion anymore, it's actually procrastination, which is a bad thing that I should work on. So I have a lot of work to do right now, but that has made me want to yearn for the mines and come into Minecraft and talk. So I hope you have a loving family, and I hope if you don't right now, I can trust you. I can't trust you, but I will hope that life's entropy, it goes upwards. It always goes up. There's one thing you gotta know in life. Entropy is like it's a science word. Things will become ordered and become disordered. It's just how things go. Anywho, life's entropy. Like gravity will just keep going one direction. Life's entropy will always go upwards. That's what I believe in. So yeah, carpe diem, and have a good one. Thank you. Bye bye.